Hello and welcome back. So it's a quiet night. It's almost 1 in the morning here where I'm from. And I don't know, I'm in the mood for some reading, maybe 20, 25 minutes, maybe half an hour of, just go through some news at the Hacker News site. Um, why GitHub 1? This sounds interesting. I'm gonna open a couple of these in new tabs. Uh, iPhone 16 Pro, iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'm not an Apple guy, so I'm not interested that much in this. Hacking misconfigured S3 buckets. I'm B-trees and database indexes. James Earl Jones has died. Yeah, the voice of um, Darth Vader and the voice of Simba's father and uh, a theater actor. I think he won a Tony for his role in Fences. He also got an Oscar. He got an Emmy and and a Golden Globe, right, or a Grammy. Basically, there's this uh, EGOT in which you can win each of those big awards. So I don't know if it's Grammys or Golden Globes, but he won all four of those. Even though his Oscar I think was honorary and not for an acting performance. Um, creating a Git commit the hard way. Okay. Linux bedtime routine. So I'm looking for something interesting. I'm looking for something interesting here. Uh, why I wrote data science from crime analysis with Python. A tiny self-remaking C program. Okay, I like C. I'm working with C. I spent 1.5 hours uh debugging stuff. Yeah. Okay. The stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. Why? Why? We recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 13500 kilobytes per second. I think will this get fixed on its own? I hope it does. I hope it does. Wait, maybe I can change this. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, maybe like this. Will this work? It should work. So the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended, but does it break anything? Let me just check my phone, please. I'm sorry. I just want to check. Yeah, I think it's not critical right now. I'm gonna leave it as this and fix it next time I stream. So basically, what do we have? I'm interested in jobs, definitely. Not because I want to change my own, but because I'm a bit rusty on this field. I want to see what's happening because after half a year, especially with the rise of AI, after half a year or a year of not keeping up with the trends, you are obsolete. And it was a lot and it becomes a lot faster now. It was a lot slower in the good old days. Oh, I also have some Reddit. Okay, our git hash bug. Let's see. I'm interested in this. So what does it say here? I work on the live service game the Dragon Prince. Xadia. I never heard of this. Let me just see. So it's an MMO, right? And it's a phone game.
Our world, it's always been divided. And every battle will make us stronger. We'll hone our abilities and sharpen our weapons. And enjoy a tasty wee snack sometimes. Because when you walk this road, you realize...
What's this? Is this like a League of Legends clone? I mean, the font looks a lot leaguey, and the buttons. I haven't played League in like what 6-7 years. Oh man, but I remember how addictive it was. My brain was fried on it. Okay, I work on the live services game Dragon Prince Xadia. We have iOS, Android clients, hosted game servers, and a platform. Our game servers and clients need to be in sync, so we have a field in our platform's YAML configuration. Okay, so game servers version. We have a git hash of deployed commits. Okay, this way we can tell clients when they are out of date and need to update. The value is set dynamically by a TeamCity deployment job. Okay, so what kind of bug could have happened here? One day, a good long while after we put the system in place, our QA lead pings me in the GameOps channel on Slack. Hey, Tim. I'm always interested in the way how other teams and companies handle error handlings and error reportings. So seems like this was a direct ping on Slack. There's something wonky with Sandbox 2. Deployment is finished for platform server Android, and I downloaded the new Android client patched, and it's still reporting that there's an update. Clients for our Sandbox 2 shard are blocking access with a you got update message. Okay, so what happened? Okay, the deployment, the developer says, I'm assuming that the deployment didn't actually succeed, or either the platform or client was overwritten with the wrong hash by accident. Okay. So he looked at value, but the git hash matches this value. Okay. I'm a bit perplexed here, so I download the iOS client myself to make sure it's not an Android caching bug. Yeah. The easiest, you are doing the easiest thing, you know, you are tackling the poor Android. Our QA lead, of course, has already gone through all the cache cleaning steps for Android with no success. I boot up iOS and I see the same message. Okay. So what was causing it? Our QA lead posted the client log for me to comp through. Instead, I see this. What? So what happened? Quotes are missing. This happened. Ah! Okay, that's really simple. This is like the most basic of the basic issues. So most probably this is a string. Is it? Git hash. Yeah, it's a hash. How does a git hash look like? Does it consist of numbers and the letters. Yeah, it's a 40 character string composed of hexadecimal characters. Why are some Git hashes shorter? Some Git hashes appear shorter because Git allows for abbreviated hashes. So they are used for readability, uniqueness, efficiency. Okay, so this is it. Where is the Git issue? Ah, here it is. YAML parsers will interpret values as strings even if quotes aren't present as long as the value is defined. Definitely not something else like a number boolean etc. Okay, so he just wrapped this in. Like really interesting. Quote values. How does give me an example of a YAML file. YAML markup language, so it's recursive. It's commonly used for configuration files and data exchange. Yeah, there are no quotation marks at all. Is this more readable than JSON? Give me a JSON and YAML file side by side so I can decide which one is more readable. JSON. These are not side by side, my man. I mean, I wanted to say that JSON is more readable because of the indentations and delimiters consisting of curly braces. And I don't know how these are called. Square braces? But I'm looking now at the YAML file and it also seems pretty easy to navigate. How are arrays handled? Because here we have deployments and here environment staging. And wait, how is an array handled here? Comments can be okay. This is a good thing that comments can be included, but the way sequential data is handled, for me at least, JSON wins hands down, because look at this. It's unreadable. But it's also interesting. Yeah, I read this, really interesting. It's not really a solution though, because you only notice you need to do it after it triggers a bug. If the YAML is generated by code, it should be quoted automatically given that you have a sane YAML library. Okay, so one of the possible solutions is generating strings, right? As soon as I saw the YAML one-liner snippet, I know it was a quoting issue. Okay. And then I saw infinity. Always quote your YAML strings. Okay, okay. Interesting. Let's go on next one. Why GitHub 1? An NFC movie library for my kids. So how does this work? Is this YAML? It is, right? Yeah, I think it is. An NFC, but NFC tags. Okay, maybe not now. Synthetic diamonds are now purer, more beautiful, and cheaper than mined. Okay, let's see why GitHub actually won. So, a few days ago, a video produced by where he reviews an article written by the Graphite team, how GitHub replaced SourceForge as the dominant code hosting platform. Who is this guy? I think I know. It's Theo, like, right? The YouTuber. Yeah. I like his mustache. He looks like an 80s private investigator. But somewhere where it's more sunny, you know. He's more eccentric in a sense. Not like Tom Selleck in Magnum PI. No. He has more flair. Why GitHub won? Okay. Being a co-founder at GitHub, I found Greg's article and Theo's subsequent commentary fun, but figured that it might be interesting to write up my own take on the reasoning behind the rise and dominance of GitHub and perhaps correct a few things that were not quite right. Okay. I wrote this book. Pro Git. Okay. If you want a very short read, here is the quick version of why I believe GitHub won and why you're probably using the site to this day. I can boil it down to exactly two reasons that happen to resonate with each other at perfect frequency. GitHub started at the right time and GitHub had good taste. Basically, it boils down to luck, right? Most of the things boil down to luck in the world, in life. And this might be one of those. Okay, all four GitHub co-founders had flops before and after GitHub. Chatterbug, I heard about Chatterbug. What's Chatterbug? So they had flops before and after GitHub. What's Chatterbug? Die beste Weg, fließend zu sprechen. Englisch lernen, Spanisch lernen, Französisch lernen, Deutsch lernen. So how does this work? Chatterbug. Okay. I think both of these ventures had good taste and great product, but it wasn't the right place or time or market or whatever for them to become GitHub level. So when GitHub was just starting, like distributed open, what do we have? Source version control tools were starting to get useful. What are some of distributed version control tools? So we have some players, we have SourceForge, we have Google Code. They had no taste. They could never have competed with the developer tool companies who founders were all product focused open source software developers. Okay. And that's why GitHub won. Okay, simple enough. Let me just see. So we have Git, of course. Yeah, Mercurial. Who is using Mercurial? About distributed architecture. Okay, interesting. What else we have? Bazaar, Fossil, Darks. What about SVC? No, it's not SVC, is it? SVN. A popular central. So what's the difference? What is the difference between centralized control systems and distributed ones. Centralized and distributed version control systems differ in how they manage and store version history, as well as how they handle collaboration among developers. Okay. Single central repository. Okay, single central repository. So what do we have? We have so let me just write the name of the article. So what's the name of the article? Why GitHub actually won? Why GitHub actually won? I'm just writing some. Oops. I'm just writing some notes here. So we have centralized. All version control data stored in a single central repository. Centralized. So one single repository. One. Okay, one repository. So developer check out changes from this repository and commit changes back to it. Okay. So what else? Developer. Only the central. Wait, what does this mean? So what does it mean? Only the central repository contains the full history. Whatever this means. Okay, now distributed. Distributed. So what about distributed? Each developer has a complete copy of the entire repository. Okay. Each developer has a copy of the repo. Let me just do something. Okay. So now we have guidelines so I can know where to write. developer works independently, branching and merge. Okay, this is interesting. Why GitHub? So the environment. It was so cool. Okay, so if you were a software developer in 2005, you were probably hopefully using a centralized version control system like Subversion. Okay, and I know what centralized means now. Now, if you were working on a proprietary commercial software, centralized version control system wasn't the most horrible thing. It was pretty simple to check out, make changes, check back in. Okay. People probably complain more about Git today than they did about SVN back in the day. The user interface and mental model is arguably simpler than in Git. Okay. The big problem that I think started coming to a head around this time was not in the world of professional development. The big problem was within the growing world of open source. Okay, so open source started growing. That's the point, right? Okay, so the main point here was open source was growing and centralized version control systems weren't making it. Okay. How bad could it have been? So if you wanted to contribute, you had to check out the latest version, make your changes, generate a patch file, upload that patch file. It was a goddamn nightmare. Okay, so then it happened, the rise of Git. What happened instead was that one of the Linux developers reverse engineered the protocol, breaking the licensing terms, and BitKeeper and Linus determined that this path was followed was untenable, and they mutually decided. Okay. Wait, who developed Git? In the early days of Git, I would do talks where I would just go on stage, create a few branches, commit into them, switch between them, and then merge them all together all in 60 seconds. I would literally see people's jaw drop. Some of them would think I was faking the demo. What? You must be joking. You might like Linus is a fucking god, man. Fuck. Man. Not having to go over a network to negotiate a commit with a central server was also incredible. You could fork the repository, you could host your own copy of a repository and have your own write access. Pull request. And then we have the rise of GitHub. Okay. Git wins. This is why Git was cool. Maybe it was Linux or Linux. Maybe it was GitHub. Okay. Why not Google Code? Okay, okay. I think I get the gist of it. So, what does it say here? The comments. Google Code was never trying to win. It was simply trying to prevent SF from becoming a shitty monoculture that hurt everyone. Okay. Okay, this sounds like damage control, but okay. This is actually pretty smart. So GitHub was focused specifically on Git, and Git was developed by Linus, meaning that you already had you know the aura of a superstar behind it. Really interesting. GitHub won because Git won. Yeah. Cool. Oh shit, it's almost 1:30 here. Thank you for watching me, and we'll have another one soon, maybe tomorrow. Bye bye.